Hello, everybody. It is the third Tuesday of every month, and you know what that means. It is the Fox Cities Core episode, ABF Monthly, where we get Mark Motter from Appleton Beer Factory in the studio to talk about everything that's coming up at the Appleton Beer Factory. This time, we're also joined by Bob Minter. You might know him from Zip Code Zero and Fresh Rocks. Welcome, guys.
Hey, how you doing?
How's your Tuesdays going so far?
Busy as normal, but yeah, no, everything's good. Yeah, no, I'm really excited. We're starting to get back into music this week and have our first show since, or first like original music show since mid-December. So pretty stoked about that.
What's your least busy time of the week? Is there a day that is technically like would be your Friday and Saturday?
I mean, I sometimes take Mondays off. Sundays, I do like every other Sunday when we're with my stepdaughter. I always have those off, but and then yeah, no, my time is really weird. I don't take a lot of time off, but I don't work super long days. I'm very efficient at what I do, so I try and bust it out in quick amounts of time.
Do you sleep?
At 3 hours at a time. That's about the most I sleep. And then I'm normally up for an hour or two, and then I go back to sleep for a little bit and get ready for work in the morning. So,
Would the beginning of the year technically be the least busy time of the year as far as booking shows?
so actually, this time of the year is super busy for booking shows. I would like it if more of my November and December was busy booking shows because I would have the spring all set up already. But the challenge is a lot of the bands just aren't ready to start announcing and stuff then. So we've been super busy. We have 3 new shows that we're announcing today on the air that we'll be putting up event pages for this week. And so we're really excited about some of those. But we've just been adding a ton of shows. And I have a solid date on my first show outside of the brewery that we'll be doing. It'll be a Appleton Music Factory and a Wee Jam show at Tanner's in September. So, but we can't talk too much about the bands yet. But it is going to be Labor Day weekend and the Sunday, so you'll want to probably set that day aside. But it's a good day to do it because a lot of people are on vacay anyway. So,
Does any of the crew at Appleton Beer Factory have to reel you in ever and say, "Hey, Mark, we've got enough going on. Let's not add to the pile"?
so nobody reels me in, and that's the problem sometimes. So to give you an idea, there's a day in March right now where we have between private events and music events, we have 6 for sure, potentially 7 events happening in the same day at the brewery. So when I say nobody reels me in, nobody reels me in. And, a lot of it's just putting the puzzle together, making sure everything can work together. But the nice thing is on those days, your business is very predictable. So it's, where you're going to do it, what you're going to do where with those events and stuff. And we don't see a lot of walk-in customers because on days like that we're normally shut down because we have too much going on. So
There probably are days during shows where people walk in expecting a nice, quiet atmosphere, and then there's some band blasting music.
So I think it's getting better now. Like there was definitely a time, especially when we first started music, that was a lot more of an issue. But we don't do music all the time, and that's kind of, the message we try and share is we try and communicate this as much as possible so people know what we have going on. We put it out months in advance, and not everyone uses the tools out there to see what's going on or check on things before they go. So we do have that. But a lot of times, we see those people come in and end up staying for the show, or they are excited that they have music. They didn't know we had music coming. So we see both ends of that. I mean, I've definitely had some choice words said at me when people can't get in and there's a sold out show, and I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. We have 300 people that bought tickets. We just can't let people come in for free. And so we deal with those as we can, and we try and be as polite as possible. And, if someone's just coming in for a beer, a lot of times we'll still let them in to come on, have a beer. You can't stay the whole time, but come in and have a beer. That's cool.
I saw a post, so I want to bring it up before I forget, but it was about Friday Fish Fry, how fish tastes better on Friday. And you guys do offer a really good fish fry for people that are looking for a different place to try out.
I would put our fish fry against anyone in the valley. And we don't here's the thing, we don't do a lot of fish. We do haddock. That's what we do. And we do haddock really, really well. I'm not a freshwater fish fan myself. I eat a lot more like shrimpies and stuff like that, and lobster and stuff I love. I don't eat it a lot because it's super expensive, but I do like it. And but our haddock is out of this world. It really is, and it's done super consistent every time you come through. It's we do put a beer batter on it, but it's a super light beer batter, and and the fish is always cooked perfectly. Like people that come and have our fish very rarely go other places for fish once they've had it. So,
And do you take reservations?
we always suggest reservations, and I know that's weird for a lot of places, but we would rather know what we have coming in and than try and play everything off the cuff. So we prefer that people make reservations, and we tell them, especially on busy nights, that's the only way you guarantee that you're going to have a table.
Do you serve food upstairs too, or just downstairs?
We serve event food upstairs, and a lot of the reason for that is we're still trying to figure out how to utilize that upstairs space as well as possible. So we don't normally have to open it up to the general public just because what we've got going on, we can normally control it with just the downstairs room. However, we have had events where we've decided to open up that space. We do it during Mile of Music so people can sit up there and whatnot, but we have a full bar up there, so we don't always want to have a beer bartender up there because a lot of times for stuff like that, you just have people eating and drinking. So there's just a lot of moving parts that that I think, as we continue to utilize the space in different ways, I think we'll find different ways to use it. So
That is a really cool space upstairs, but
It's-
yeah, the access to it is pretty limited.
it's right. I mean, right now, and very honestly, if we're not using it for a private event right now, we're normally using it as a green room space for the artists when we come in, and which it is a great space for that. It gives them their own bathrooms and stuff, which we've never been able to offer to artists. And, for some shows, it's not as big of a deal, but when we have the artists, especially at sold out shows, it's a huge deal because not all those artists that get in front of you and playing, but on some of those national artists coming through, they don't get down in front of the fans like we're used to for a lot of our shows, right? Just because that's just not their style, so they prefer that. But we want everyone to feel comfortable, so it's been a really cool utilization of that space. But we try and book as many events up there as possible, and we just got our tap tower is going in. It should be finished by next week, so that should almost finalize everything done in that room right now. So
What's a tap tower?
tap tower is where all the taps come out of, all the beer comes out of. So right now up there we serve cans because we've been the guy that does our tap system is like is the toughest people to get in the country. He goes into people's, like he goes into mansions and stuff and does this for people in their houses and does all these very.
A tap tower in your house sounds pretty impressive.
Well, I mean, these are mansions, right? These are people that have probably a lot of money to do stuff with. But he's just very hard to nail down. But he is right here from Appleton. He gets flown all over all the time, and actually, his wife comes to a bunch of our shows, and they really enjoy the connection with the brewery. But he's been hard to nail down, so we got him coming in here, and we're pretty excited about it.
So what's the maintenance that would go into something like a tap tower? That's something that has to be cleaned and all that regularly, right?
Yeah, so you're looking depending on how often you use your taps and whatnot. I would say the minimum cleaning that's normally suggested is like once a month. We clean ours a couple times every month, and we do them all at the same time. It doesn't take a ton of time if you're used to it, but it is definitely something that you do have to make sure you're cleaning the lines.
Do you need volunteers to help drain the lines?
Unfortunately, that's not the way we do it, but that would be great if it was, because we would have all sorts of fun stuff that way. But yeah, we do not
Lined up around the block.
No, that's why you come and you do canning with us. That's a great time because whenever you're canning, there's always short fills. So the whole time you're sitting there drinking short fills while you're canning. So when we're doing juicy, it's not a great situation because we're all getting it because juicy is stronger than all the other beers. So, but it is a fun time.
Last time you were here, we talked about Manic Mondays, which of course it's firing now. It's going. You guys had Tuck.
Yeah, we had Tuck and Vizanka last week, or the 12th for our first time.
How about Tuck? I mean, they're fabulous, aren't
Tuck
they?
did a really good job. Zanka, I was definitely impressed with. I will say, is it Tom? I think it's Tom from Pazanka. I'm probably getting this wrong, but he was so persistent on getting those guys in. I was super happy to finally get them on stage. Yeah, Tuck was really good. We've got some really fun ones coming up. Yeah, I'm excited. And we had this last time, but I couldn't really talk about it yet because we didn't have confirmation. But we have Tipsy Taco and Sangrias that is supplying food for the artists for all these events. So they bring in a taco buffet and nacho buffet for the artists every time we do this. And the reason we do that is because we don't open the kitchen. We might be doing that down the road if we continue to see the success that we're seeing so far. I mean, for Tuck and Pazanka, we had right around 40 people on a Monday night, paying $10 to get in and seeing these bands. So we're really excited and we think there's a lot going on. One of the things we do, and we are always going to suggest to people, is to go visit Tipsy Taco before the show or something. If you're looking for something to eat, these guys are great to work with. And this was,
That's my bad right there. You're hearing yourself.
I was like, I wasn't sure if that was just in my head. But yeah, no, Sarah from Sangrias and Tipsy Taco has been great. And, that's, those types of things are really where we spend a lot of our time with sponsorship. It's not, we don't normally gain a lot of revenue or anything out of our sponsorships. It's more about stuff that we trade for, whether it's time on your show or an Airbnb here and there or something like that, so that we can take care of the artists. But a lot of it goes back into what we're doing.
So the Manic Mondays are you're booked now for about 3 months, right?
Through 5/18, yeah. So we had one switch this week, which was Sick Kitty Sick came in instead of Static Unknown, which is Sarah Huss's band, and they just had someone who wasn't going to be able to be there. So Sick Kitty Sick, I always love Mike and Mike and Kat are great. So and they're going to be with Off Brand Cereal, which is
nice.
If you're not familiar, Off Brand Cereal is a newer punk band from the area that one of the guys works by us, and the other two are kids of one of our bartenders. So
They opened for Radkey.
yeah, we had them for Radkey. They played. This will be their third or fourth time playing at the brewery in May. But they're just working on some new stuff right now. So they were really excited. But I'm super stoked about the next show we've got coming up, which is next Monday with Walt Hamburger and the Appleton Shadow Band, which I don't know who exactly the Appleton Shadow Band all entails. I think I know at least one of the guys, but that's about it. Holly and the Nice Lions, which they're always fantastic. And then the French Irish Coalition. So like that Monday show should be really, really good. We've got the Independent Variable coming the week after that, and I think we have a band that's playing with them. I'm just waiting on getting that locked in. So, but yeah, that's another one. And yeah, we just have some good shows, a lot of good bands, and a lot of them either haven't played in the area or just definitely don't play a lot in the area. So.
And Smoke Free Home, have they ever played at the Beer Factory before?
Yes, at least once. I feel like it might have been twice. So some of those were, so if you're not familiar, John Sobey, who does Scapleton that we've got coming up, he's a promoter, and we don't have a lot of promoters that come into our space, but John is a bartender of ours, and so we do let him do shows every once in a while. He's brought Smoke Free home before at least once, and I think they've been through a second time, but I could be wrong. But they're always really good from what I've seen too. And then the Dead Buddhas and Kamikaze Relief Fund, which I don't know.
Dead Buddhas will be coming here next month.
Oh, sweet! So we get a little bit of
preview.
Little preview, you guys. They can make sure that they promote the show at the brewery. So, but we are stoked to again. It's going to give me an opportunity, and one of the things I like about this series is it gives me an opportunity to see a lot of bands I don't get to see, and we always have spots and different availabilities. And with the festivals that I work with and stuff like that, there's always a need for different bands, and it's just important for me to be able to get my eyes on them and see what their stage presence looks like. And
How do you determine how many bands you're going to put on the bill?
So a lot of that depends on. That's a great question. A lot of that depends on the amount of time that they can play. So, so for these shows, they're doing cover, right? So we're doing $10 covers for most shows, unless the artists want to do a $15 cover is the most that we're doing. Some of them have wanted to go down to 5 or 7. I've kind of put the brakes on that, and I'll tell you what the reason why is because I don't think the bands will make enough, and I feel that they need to be making, even if they have a really good turnout on these Mondays, they're not making money that, you're screaming about, but at least getting something for your time is really important. And I think that $10, especially with, what stuff costs nowadays, I feel like that's a drop in the hat versus what a lot of stuff is. And to make sure it's going to local artists and regional artists, I think it's a good place for it to go. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, how we do? I forgot to answer the question. So why do you? So Tuck and Pazanka, those guys can both could do 60 to 75 minutes. So I try and do 2.5-hour shows. But like the next ones on the 26th, Walt and them wanted to do punk style shows, so they're doing 45-minute sets versus 60 to 75. So that's really the difference. You're never gonna lose the amount of show time. You might just not have as many bands.
And you have earlier start time since it's a weekday?
It's 6 o'clock and they're done by like 8:30, 9 o'clock. So it is great.
That's cool.
That is nice.
And I was a little worried for how that was going to work, but I'll tell you, after the first one, I was very happy. I know we're getting a ton of people that are excited about the next one coming up. So I think the timing is a good spot. The challenge with the timing is getting some of the bands here in time, because a lot of them do work regular 9 to 5s. So so that's one of the things. We've been pretty nimble with that, and making sure that the bands, as long as they can do a quick start, we have a good enough team that we can get them a sound check pretty quick. So
I love the early thing, especially being a Monday.
Yes. Well, and that was our thing. It was originally I was going to do 7, and I'm like, nope, we want to do 6 o'clock. I think it's because here's the deal: even if you can't get there right at 6, you can still come at 7 and get another an hour to 2 hours worth of music, and we're always cool with that too, right? If you're coming in at the end, we mess with the cover a little bit, because we want to make sure that someone who's coming in is only getting half the show isn't paying the same as someone who's seeing the whole show. So. But on that note, again, all of our money, 100% of the cover goes back to the bands in these events, and so you never have to worry about if the band's getting your money or not.
Love it.
Yeah.
So you said you had some announcements for some shows coming up. Should we do those, or should we wait a little bit?
How about we do them a little bit at a time?
Okay.
Okay. Do you guys want me to start with my big announcement, or do you want me to start with the lower announcement? No, I will, and I should. That's probably not the way.
How about?
So there's some that I know people are going to be really excited about, right? Just because there's one artist that hasn't been back in like 5 years, but then there's others that I know people might not know as much about. Maybe that was.
Well, how about this? You can start with whatever. Start with the one on the bottom of the page, and let me. I've got the big intro here.
And so what we have a really cool one coming in that honestly just got locked in today. We've been working on for a bit. This is going to be on May 8th. This is Steez. So we've had Steez before. I believe we're going to be having Shrimp Vision with them opening up. I just have to lock things down with Ben. But Steez is going to be doing their French Connection show, and this is a tribute to Daft Punk. So this is going to be a really cool show. They do this show at Fletch's in Oshkosh. They've done it. They do it down in Madison, where they're from. And I should say it's either Madison or Milwaukee. I always get that wrong. But yeah, these guys are really good. They're a jam band. I'm psyched to see this show. I've never gotten a chance to see how it goes, but I'm really stoked. And I know from what I've heard about those who have seen the show, it's pretty solid.
So Steez, the first announcement, which could have been the top or the bottom.
They were the bottom of the sheet because you asked me to start at the bottom of the sheet,
which is what you meant in the first place.
100%. That's what I did mean. Oh God, talk about putting your foot in your mouth.
Don't be dissing the Steez.
and believe me, how long I've been working on this show, I definitely like these guys, or we wouldn't have put the show together. Anyways,
what's the best part about announcing shows? Is it being able to finally tell people about it, or is that? So
if you know anything about me, I'm a kid in the candy store with most of my shows, and I do a lot of I like to call it guerrilla marketing, where I Well, put the word out there a little bit to different people that I know I can trust that aren't going to put it out too far. But it's really to build excitement about the shows, and it's something that's worked really well. There's only been one time that I kind of I didn't get in an issue, but I had one of the bands mention it to me. But most of them, now that they know why we do it, I don't really have too big of an issue. But yeah, so I do get very excited about the shows, and I do like to tell people about them. A lot of times, if you guys come to the shows, you're gonna know. You're going to be in the know on what's going up because I work the ticket table, and I'm always like, "Oh, did you hear about this one? Did you hear about this one?" So so I mean, I definitely am hoarse by the end of every show just because I talk so much. But
Well, I'm sure two of those people are Crazy Todd and Eric Herm.
yes, they are. They are, and we're actually we're those guys are great. Fox Cities Live is. Has some of the best photos that we've seen in the valley for shows that we have through. I don't know how Eric does what he does with his phone because he has some of the best pictures, and I try and get him to teach me, and he tells me it doesn't make any sense. So, but no, those guys take some really fantastic pictures, and they have recordings of like almost every show that comes.
Do you know
through.
what the numbers, like how many they have?
I would be afraid to ask. It's thousands and thousands and thousands. I mean, I think they did like 500 shows during Mile alone, which is just insane.
But a lot of times sometimes they'll record the same shows, so they've got like multiple copies.
Yeah. And one of the nice things is I don't have I have an older truck, so I don't have all the XM and Spotify in my truck. I can't get all that stuff. So I get a lot of CDs from Todd where I get to hear bands that are actually in the brewery, and I get to hear myself talk on, which is always great. No, it is really great because that's one of my deals with Todd about doing this is that I get a copy of every show so that I can make my own little collection of them. So I've got a lot of those. I can only imagine how many.
I can send you the pictures of part of my thumb or my finger.
Do people send you a lot of stuff after the shows? Like, do they know that you like getting that kind of stuff?
I really wish people would send more, honestly. So we're working on that a little bit. There's just a lot of stuff going on right now. So some of the stuff we're piecemealing. So we actually have Cass, and I don't know if you know Cass from Fox River House. She's one of the owners of Fox River House, and she actually helps us with our social media. She's been taking some of that stuff off of my plate, and so there are a lot of different stuff that we're getting into. I'm working on potentially doing something with Fox Cities Live that I think would be really cool. But it's just everything at ABF is there's a lot of change going on most of the time, and we find things that work and we stick with them, but then we like to tweak things and make them better. And there's things that right now I know that I can't get done by myself, and even with people right now I know we can't get them done, but I want to get them done. But it's just got to happen when it makes sense for the business, because we also can't just hire everyone we want and just have an unlimited labor pool, but that would be kind of cool. I'm drinking draft old fashions from the brewery, by the way. I brought it in a growler, which is 100% legal.
We're gonna do a quick break. We're gonna come back, and you said we're gonna be giving away maybe some tickets later.
Some tickets. We're gonna give tickets to the next Code Zero radio show coming up.
If that room upstairs that we were talking about earlier, that's available if people want to rent that for parties, right?
Yeah, and so. I'm not going to say the rental cost right now because we are doing a little bit of changing and shaking up on that. But it's very affordable. And I will say that, all of our rooms, we don't really charge minimums versus a lot of businesses will charge minimums on their room. We charge a rental charge, and that's, gets us amount of margin that we need for each of those times. And that's really what we focus on. And if we have people in the brewery versus not in the brewery, it's always going to be more successful. So, we don't worry too much about that kind of thing. It's
not just the room upstairs, but you've got the room downstairs in the side there.
Well, we have the side and we have the beer hall. So we have 3 rental spaces. We have small, medium, and large. Drafting room is the smallest. Upper event pub room is about 50 to 80. And then the back pub, the beer hall, we can do up to 140 and seated for which we've done for different meals. We don't like doing that many people because it's really, really tight. But we've done a lot of weddings and stuff back there. So, real honestly, it's all about getting to me early on that stuff because we book so fast. So like the amount of events we're already booked into this year is pretty. I think we're well over. I think we're nearing 60 events already booked, and we're only a month into the year. So we've got like it's a lot, and that's not including any of the music events either that we do.
So things have been picking up steadily since the whole COVID debacle.
So the COVID debacle was definitely debacle. I wasn't at the brewery before COVID, so I can only speak to so much. But from what they've told me, while events were big, like what we're doing now is really different. We've over doubled it in a two-year period on the amount of events. And this year, I can't imagine that we won't do more than we did last year. But we did, so to kind of give you an idea, and this is all stuff that so if you ever wonder why I don't sleep a lot and stuff, so I book about, this past year was 216 events, and then 83 music shows, and then work with 7 to 8 different festivals a year on top of that. And so yeah, it's like my brain is just literally moving all the time. I don't get much time to downplay, but and I can't say it any more than I do, but I really enjoy what I do, so I don't ever feel like fatigued from it. Sometimes during the summer when I'm on that, like, because there's like 6 weeks in a row where I have a festival every weekend. By the end of that, I'm normally a little bit brain dead, but that's about the worst that it gets. And that's, how much can I complain? Because I'm normally going to see music and stuff, so it's not a crappy way to spend a day.
Do you want to do another concert announcement?
Yeah, let's do this big one. I'm really, really stoked because I know and this literally just happened within the last 2 weeks. And the way it started versus the way it ended is very different. But on April 18th, we are going to have Big Shrimp. So Big Shrimp, for those of you who don't know, that's baked shrimp that was here like a few years ago at Mile, and then we had a follow-up show with them. And Jared, who's actually owns an agency that he works with a bunch of different bands, he plays guitar, and he's so fun to watch because all of a sudden his eyes will go back in his head and he's just like playing, and it's like he's playing. It's amazing. His fingers move so fast. It's like they're made of rubber. So that's gonna be really cool to see them back. They broke up, and then he's been like re-putting the band back together, and I didn't know they were gonna get back together, and then I heard they were, so really excited to have them. But the really cool part of that is one that I know some of the second sons of Appleton, sons and daughters, I'll say, we have Chestnut Grove coming back, and that one literally just happened within the last week and a half to 2 weeks. So really stoked about that. Been working with James Daniels a bit on getting that happening.
That's their first time back since they reunited, or have they been back since
Nope,
then?
we had them. We had them. See, now I don't have all my computer in front of me. We had them, man, I think it was we did have one show since they disbanded, I believe.
Did they play Mile?
They played Mile this year, and maybe I might be confusing with seeing him at Mile too, for all I know. But I know we did. We had them here. Yeah, I'd have to look at it, but I'm pretty sure we had them since they disbanded. Not they disbanded, but as much
Hiatus, kind of.
just hiatus. Yeah. But yeah, we were really stoked last time we had them. I don't think we quite sold out last time, but it was pretty dang close. So I'm pretty sure with both of these bands, and with the way our season tickets are selling right now, I'm sure we're going to do really well for that show. Season tickets are in full effect, $225 from January through May, and that at the current moment, I mean, you're paying like $6 to $7 a show maybe, and that's if I don't add any more shows in. So that's how this goes. Last season when I announced them, it was like $7 or $8 a show, and then by the time I finished, it was like less than $5 a show. So it's always great to pick these up. And what I will tell people don't realize this, like these are limited. So we've never sold them out, but we are getting very close, and I'm guessing this session will sell them out or or just get within a couple. But here, the cool thing about them is people that buy these, you have first right of refusal. So you always get the first option to buy in the next season. So if we don't add anymore, these people will be able to hold on to their season tickets as long as they want. And then when you renew your season ticket, you get a 15% discount. So there's all sorts of cool stuff. So the people that buy these tickets, like we've only had one person that has bought a ticket that hasn't renewed, and the person that didn't renew had nothing to do. They were moving out of the area, so it didn't have anything to do with not wanting to get them again.
It's a pretty cool idea. I mean, it's sort of like Packer tickets, but
yeah. So Ledgestone did it, and a lot of the reason Ledgestone did it was different than why we did it. They did it because they only have so much room for parking there, so they want to get as many people in there as they want. So they kind of did it that way, and then they're really lenient. As long as someone has a ticket in the vehicle, they pretty much let the whole group come in. And that's kind of how they work it. But they have so much space that they really never run into issues where they don't have enough room for people. They just only have so much parking. But that's kind of where I got the idea. The whole idea behind, or the whole thought process behind it was wanting to take the shows that aren't getting as many people and give them a fighting chance to get more people through the door. So the bands they don't get their full ticket price, but they get a certain dollar for every one of these that walks through the door. A higher dollar show gets a higher amount, right? But it's normally right around half of what the ticket price costs is what they get back. So the bands love it because it's bringing people in that might not have ever come in to see them. Our average ticket sales went up. It was just over 20 tickets per show this year. So we've seen the how it's affecting the business. I mean, what I know from a lot of the venues that I'm familiar with or have gone to is, a lot of venues had some struggles throughout last year, especially in the second part of the year. And, the cool thing is this has really helped. It's been something that helps us bridge that gap. So we always have people there. And, if I've got people there, even if they're, it only costs them $7 to get into that show per se, but they're drinking and eating and stuff. And these season ticket holders, that's what they do. They come in, they drink, they eat. Like they're just not there for just the show. And so it really helps. Overall the performance of the building, but it also helps the performance of the music and how we factor that.
All right, so you've got another announcement, right?
I got one more.
One more?
Let's try and go. Why don't we announce the Code Zero or the tickets that we're giving away,
Okay.
and give people a chance to call in, and then while we're talking, someone.
I'm ready.
That's not fair.
Well, that's cheating.
I mean, I don't care. I guess,
So if you want
to
to win a pair of tickets to the WCZR show next month, give us a call. The number's up. We still are waiting for our first call on this thing, aren't we? So it's like dying to get a phone call.
Yeah, we've had a lot of messaging, but we haven't gotten a lot of phone calls. So if you're out there and you're listening, probably Todd and Eric for sure. Somebody call in. Well, Todd already has season tickets, so he's not going to care if he wins, but he maybe can give them to someone else. You can transfer these too. If you win them and you already have tickets, I don't have a problem if you give them to someone else. We're not that crazy about it.
Oh, we're getting a phone call.
Oh, look at that.
You are on. What's your name?
Who is that?
Hello.
It's Eric.
Eric.
Nice. I knew it was going to be one of you two idiots.
Well, the nice thing is,
It's going to be the wrong Eric, though.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
I'm sorry. I thought this was. I didn't mean to call you an idiot. I apologize.
I've been called worse.
Which Eric is this?
It's Eric Bennell.
Eric Bennell. Hey, Eric Bennell.
Hey, how's it going, Andy?
Good. You've won yourself a pair of tickets. Yeah, so this is a different Eric, Mark. I went to high school with Eric. He's a super guy.
Awesome.
Eric, I haven't talked to you in years. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Yeah, I watch you here now and then, and I'm driving home, and my son called, and I can go have a couple of beers and listen to some music the way it sounds.
Yeah. So you're winning tickets. You've got tickets for the next Code Zero show, which is February 6th. So it's coming up here in a couple weeks. It is, it's a 3-band show. So this is going to be really good. Marina City. If you don't know about Marina City, check them out. Ryan Argus was on The Voice and American Idol, I believe. He's fantastic. Then they have Fox Royale coming, which those guys are from Joplin, Missouri. They Appleton loves when these guys come, real pop rock type sound. And then Scorched Waves out of Stevens Point. So, and what I'm going to do as well is when you come through for these tickets, I will have your name and everything. I'm going to get you a beer on me just because I called you an idiot.
Eric, score.
Excellent.
Well,
you can call me more names for more beers.
Well, we'll talk about that night. We'll see how that goes.
Hey, Eric, I've got to ask you before we let you go, if you could get one band at the Appleton Beer Factory, who do you want Mark to book at the Appleton Beer Factory?
What about Pudge?
You know what? It's funny that you say that. I actually tried to get Pudge recently.
They drive a hard bargain, but I mean, like, is there any? I mean, obviously, you'd probably like to see Metallica or somebody there, but
Me too.
yeah, I won't put you on the spot, Eric. Thanks for calling in.
Not a problem.
I'll get your information to Mark, and yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you'll be listed for the show.
All right.
That was good. So we got a call in.
Yeah, that's sweet. First one for the show. What was this? Our third show, right? I think so.
Third or fourth. I think
Might be
fourth, maybe. Yeah, I think fourth.
Oh, jeez, that's crazy.
So you've got another announcement. This is like on the top of the list. The top
Well,
of the page?
this one is one that I've been really excited about. So this
Okay,
individual.
Ooh, I gotta do the theme song again.
Oh. Okay, so this individual has not been back to Appleton for a while. Was in Mile on, I'm pretty sure it was in Mile at some point. But if not, I've just seen her a lot outside of Mile. Last time she was supposed to come through, we actually were going to have her at the brewery, and she was working on a Broadway piece that she had to leave and she was involved in. I don't know all the specifics of that. However, we've got Lolo coming back, and that's going to be Easter weekend. We've got it the Friday Easter weekend, which is 4/3. Lolo will be here. We are going to be doing a partially seated show for that. So it's just going to be her and her piano, and we'll have some seating up front, then we'll do some standing room, and then we'll do some tables. We have just started getting into with the Stickman show where you can actually rent some of our tables. We're starting to do that more. Those tables are always up for grabs, and we always like ways that we can get a little bit extra for the bands. So this is one way that we can do that, and so we will start renting those tables out. Now, any of the tables that aren't rented, will obviously be free game when we're open, but yeah, you will start seeing reserved seats on a lot of those. But that's not on all of our shows, so I don't want you to think every show is going to be like that. But especially when we have special shows like this where it's really limited seating, and we know people are going to want to sit. Those tables especially are going to be rented out, but the general admission will still have regular seating and general admission and standing room as well.
That Lolo, that's a pretty big announcement. It's been a while since she's been here.
Yeah, so that's huge. We haven't even put it all up on the event page yet. We're going to be doing that this week with those, but yeah, this Lolo one is that was exciting. Yeah, I'm excited to get her. We've never had her at the brewery since I've been there, and this is one I always I work with Kirk Kempen every once in a while on a show, and this was a show that I was working with him on. So we're excited to have her through, and yeah, he's always one of my favorite people to work with. Kurt's been such an influence on music in this area, and really brought through some of the best music that we've seen in the Valley.
She's one of those people that not only has a great voice, but also a really big stage presence. So she's fun to watch.
Me, and not necessarily of like the style or even her voice or anything like that, but just like the stage presence wise, like of a Sarah Potenza, or we know a bunch of those artists that come through that just take over the stage, and she's definitely like that. And really excited to have her through at the brewery for the first time since I've been there. I don't know, we might have had her there at some point before I was there, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
I've got to talk to you about a show you've got coming through. We talked about it last month, Weird Pals.
Yes, I'm so excited. We finally have a date on this, March 28th. Put it on your calendars. We want to get I want to get as many people for this show for a lot of reasons. These guys, this is all original music artists. It's Dylan Seavey, it's Andrew Leahy. Most of them have been through for Mila Music, but they do 5-part harmony to Weird Al Yankovic. These guys have, when you look at where these artists have been, you've got artists that have opened up and played with some of the biggest artists in the country that are in this band. So it's a really unique band, and we figured, the only cover shows that we've really done are A-Town Unplugged for our New Year's Eve, but the first ticketed show that we're bringing in for cover is cover of a cover. So we figured that was the best way to break the ice on doing some cover music. Now, I will say we're not going to do a lot of cover music. However, we will, if we find something unique and cool, bring that through. And this was, Dylan was here for Mile. I can't remember who he was playing with because I don't think the Minks weren't here, but he was there playing with someone for Mile, and he had started talking to me about it, and I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, oh, we got to try this. So these tickets, they're going to be $15-$20. It should be announced here earlier this week. I would expect those tickets are going to fly based on just the people that I've talked to about the event. There's a lot of people that are very interested in this event, and you're seeing Weird Al do his concerts all over right now that are, selling out, or if not getting close to selling out in arena style stuff. So, and these guys actually played the after party for Weird Al in Nashville as well. So, really, really stoked about this, and get there for this because it's going to be a good show.
Now, where can people go to find out? Like, obviously, we said a lot of artists, a lot of dates. Where can people go to find the definitive list of what's coming to the Appleton Beer Factory?
So the best list overall is our event page on Facebook. We do have a ticketing site, which is going to give you most of the stuff. Some of our free events don't show up on our ticketing site, though. So the event page on Facebook will give you free events like our Manic Mondays. We don't do on ticketing. They're not on our website either because we don't ticket those. We just do covers. I do want to say something as well with our ticketing. For those of you who have been coming in and buying your tickets at the brewery, you're going to be able to continue to do that for no fees. However, we won't be able to send you a ticket. We're going to put you on a list instead. And the only reason we're doing that is because now we're having to pay fees at the brewery. So I'm not going to charge someone fee for going to the brewery and buying a ticket. I feel like doesn't make a lot of sense. So we'll find a way around it to keep it as cheap as possible for everyone. If you don't know, that's what I do. I realize that, some of us have a lot of money to throw around. That's not me. And I know a lot of others are that way. And want to make sure that if you're on a budget, you can save a couple bucks here and there.
Well, is there anything else you want to mention before? Otherwise, we'll see you the next month.
Yeah, no, I think, we have the one that we haven't talked about yet. Do we got a couple minutes?
Yeah, let's talk.
April 11th, we have a big show coming up called the Revelry Fest. This is with Tom Johnson. If you don't know Tom Johnson, he's pretty big in the music world up in Green Bay. He books a lot for Green Bay Distillery, has booked for the Lyric Room, has booked for Badger State. He also did the booking for the NFL Draft when they brought in De La Soul and stuff. That was Tom. So Tom brings through some fantastic bands, and every once in a while, the distillery has something going that they can't do a show, and we just happen to get an amazing show on April 11th. It's the Coffin Cats, which actually I haven't seen those guys live. I know the next two I'm really big fans of. Four and the Strange Band. If you don't know who Four and the Strange Band is, that's Hank Williams IV. If you haven't seen Four and the Strange Band, you have no idea. This is, I might be this is my personal bias, but I would put him in front of all the other Hank Williams that are out there, and that's saying something because the original was pretty awesome, and number 2 did pretty good, or number 3 was really good. Number 2 had some stuff that I didn't love, but also, but then so Foreign Strange Man's coming through. He's been through before. We've had him at the brewery once, and it was one of the coolest conversations that I've ever had with an artist. So really excited to see Coleman again. And then Carrie Nation and the Speakeasy, just had them in February. These guys have been coming through for a bit. They're coming through, I believe, up at the distillery here soon, but that's a band that I could see, once or twice a month and never get old. They just have a great feel if you haven't seen them. And then also Clownvis, Rumors, and King Sick Billy will also be part of that event. Again, really excited to get this. I love working with Tom. We are trying to work on some things to kind of make it a little bit more friendly for outside promoters coming and do shows, because kind of the same way we did some moving and changing with our contracting for the bands that ended up working a lot better for the bands. We're trying to do the same thing with promotability to get some other promoters in, because believe it or not, it would be nice to take a day off every once in a while. But no, I just say that I do get plenty of time off. Don't think that. But no, I think we, and Tom Johnson's one we work with, and John Sobey, and then also We Jam when we work with those guys too. So
John May said, I'm telling Boshapus. I can't say that right.
What?
Boshapus? Boshapus.
Tim?
John May said, I'm telling Boshapus. As you can see, I can't read, so that's
Oh, I think he's talking about the guy from Pazanka. He's probably. I think that's who he's talking about. But yes, I think, and it's Tim. Did I say Tom before? Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's Tim now. But who knows?
I've got to ask you too. Did the Them Coolie Boys show sell out yet?
Them Coolie Boys show did not sell out. What I will tell you is we're about at the halfway point right there. We're going to be going on the low tech account really quickly. If you haven't got your tickets, I would definitely get your tickets. Now that as we get closer, these tickets start moving faster. With our season ticket holders, that's a big chunk of tickets that we have to make sure don't get sold. So that's not even figured into that yet right now. So, I would say that, you're within the next week or so, we'll probably be in low tech account. So get yours while you can. That's going to be a great show. They're always great. And Eddie Danger's with them, which Eddie's always good stuff. So,
Mark, I want to thank you again for coming in here. It's great seeing you every month. I look forward to it. It's the third Tuesday of every month, so we'll see you in February.
Yeah.
And of course, we'll see you at the Beer Factory before that.
Yes, we've got a show on February 6th, so super stoked about that. And I know Ryan Argist from Marina City was really excited when we called it a Code Zero radio show. He was really stoked about that.
Buy your tickets in advance. Use that code. If you use Code Zero as a code, you can save some money on your tickets.
Yep.
I definitely recommend doing that.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great show. And if you've never seen Ryan, that guy puts his heart into every show, and you will definitely walk away feeling like you've been at a rock show.
So get your tickets, and if you don't, we'll find out where you live.
We're sending Bob after you.
You've been watching ABF Monthly and Fox Cities Core.